Well, welcome all to this second of our weekly live shows over here. I'm Adrian Salisbury, and I'm really keen to bring you each week either tips from myself to do with video, or I'm collecting guys, friends of mine that are experts in different fields to just come on and help us out. And as we're here right at the start of, almost at the start of a new year, I don't know about you, but for me, I'm all thinking about what's next year looking like, what are my launches like, what kind of strategies and plans. And so I've got two great friends that are going to come on with me right now and just have a chat with us. So launch engineers is the term that Andy and Serena are using, and these guys I've seen help lots of people, friends of mine. I keep seeing Andy's name appearing and Serena's, that these guys are just coming on and being a support to them. And I love that they're actually putting now a program together to do exactly that and help people. So welcome, Andy and Serena. Thank you for coming on.
Hey, Adrian.
Hey, hi everybody.
How's
Happy
it going?
Friday.
Hey, Becky and Melody and Audrey. We can see you guys. How's it going?
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you for... Actually, Melody and Audrey, I was just chatting with last night. These guys have just come in. Melody's a lovely lady from LA who actually Lauren, my daughter, has been going and staying with. And Melody messaged me to say that her and Audrey were chatting last night all about video. And they said they would be here, and fantastic. Well done for getting on, ladies.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Audrey, if you're thinking about a course and just about to get started with something, these guys, this is a great chat to be on. So please feel free to post any comments in, and anybody else coming on, joining us, please just chip in here with the comments. And as we go through, I'll just keep reading these questions out. And while we're having a chat, you can jump in as well. Laurie's here as well. Fantastic. Laurie's one of my members, one of my students, who again is just about to start out with the course. So fantastic. You guys are going to be getting lots of questions, I hope, today.
Good.
How's
Bring
Christmas been? What's Christmas like in the Ryan house?
Well, Christmas is fun. We have two sons who are 4 and 6, so it's like prime. This is the fun time, the fun years.
Yeah, brilliant.
So it is. It's so much fun. And we had my parents over, Andy's parents over, my cousin, my aunt, uncle. So we've had family. They just left last night. So we have.
So everyone comes to you. It's not you having to trek around.
Exactly. So everyone's pretty much in the state.
At least this year.
And then we have family that left last night, and then we have family coming tomorrow. So we have this like little bit of a break,
Yeah, getting all our work in today.
Yeah, we're trying to be productive today while we have just
a day
nobody,
without family.
Nobody here, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, appreciate
How's
getting you
holiday?
in. Really good. Yeah, absolutely loving it. I think we were just saying before we came on live here, my daughter's back at the minute from LA. Melody's let her go for a little while to come home and come and join us. And it's been wonderful. And it's kind of, we jump between my parents and go to their houses, but it's, we're literally like an hour at the most away from them. So it's nice and near, nice and easy. Love it. Love this time of year. But I also love the whole looking ahead and starting to think and what's next year going to be like and what I'm going to do differently. And that's why I was keen to get you guys on. I know it's kind of Christmas week and busy and you got two young ones at home there, but I appreciate you coming on because I just think it's a great time for people to be starting to look and to think about this. And knowing that you've got a launch of your own coming up, it would be really good to have a chat with you. I'm excited to hear how, a launch engineer then, or a launch coach, what does your launch look like? I'd love to kind of hear, if anyone's doing it right, it should be you two guys. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what your launches look like? What works for you?
Oh, you can.
You want me to do it? All right.
Yeah, you start that one off.
So for what we do, what we're working on is our 90-day group launching program for people who have already done the courses, that already know how to create an online business. Maybe they've already created the course and launched it once or twice before, or maybe they're dragging their feet, letting other things get in the way, preventing them from getting their product, service, coaching program out there to the people that need it the most. And so Serena came up with the idea to like, hey, let's create a program where we can do it all together. Because as you know, being a solopreneur at home and not going to an office or having a team or having a boss, there's really, it's lonely and it's tough to do on your own. So we have a very unique demographic who we are looking for to join us. And they've already been marketed to. They already know all the special tips and tricks. So we don't need to really like coerce them into a funnel and then spring on a course to them. Like they know what they're getting into with us. And so what we're actually doing this time around with this launch is we're actually going to be doing a 3-day workshop. We're going to be starting that up the second week in January, the 7th, I believe, 7th, 8th, and 9th. And essentially it's a challenge, like a 5-day challenge, but instead we cut it to 3 days because we've seen that during 5-day challenges, the drop-off rate is extreme right after the 3rd day. People are really engaged the 1st day, 2nd day they're still kind of good, 3rd day they're kind of starting to get cold, and then by the 5th day that you're doing your challenge, no one's paying, like people are gone, they're already thinking about the weekend. So we've learned from our clients, from our business buds through, different groups we're in, like Adrian is with us in Business by Design. We've learned from their experiences that cutting it shorter, doing like a 3-day challenge is going to keep the momentum going better. It's going to keep them engaged better. And then when you get to your pitch on the 3rd day, they're still showing up and engaging, whereas you don't lose them all by the 5th day. So we're doing a 3-day workshop, and what we're doing is we're trying to give our target demographic exactly what they're looking for 2019. So what we're doing is we're helping you get really clear on your offer for your product. So positioning it, what copy do you use? How do you word what it is that you're offering to your ideal client avatar? The second day, we go over pricing. What should you price your program at? These are all like the top 3 things that people ask us about. And then the 3rd thing is, which type of launch should I use? That depends on what it is that you're launching, who your client avatar is, ideal client avatar is, because everybody reacts differently to these different types of launches, right? So those are the 3 things that we're doing over 3 days. And it's going to be free. We're not going to charge for it this time. We're going to see how that goes. We've had a few people that we know that are charging for their challenges now to make sure that they're getting people in that are serious, that are going to show up and do the work. So they're charging maybe like a low dollar, like $47 to join in. We're testing out a free one this time. Maybe next time around we'll see what we do with a paid version of that. But it's crunch time, and we're not going to.
So,
flip that on somebody.
So basically, our launch strategy, it's fairly simple. I mean, we are running ads mainly to warm people that have seen our sales
warm
page
and cold
before.
Audiences.
And we're going to be, talking to our other biz friends and having people invite their friends into the challenge so that we can all start 2019 with clarity. Because we all want to have an awesome Q1 and like get that momentum going, but we really need to be clear on our offer and which we need to have confidence on what we're doing to skyrocket us into success. So we're basically driving people into this 3-day challenge, and then from there, we're going to do application. We're going to do an application process.
Right. That's what we're pitching is the application, not the sales page.
Right, and like booking a call with us to see if it's the right fit, because we want everyone to be kind of on a similar even playing field. So if someone's like, well, I don't even know what my product's going to be or what it's going to be about, they're not quite ready. We want everyone to have been through some sort of like course, like Business by Design or Tribe or B School, so they know the lingo. So if we start talking about email sequences and Facebook ads, they don't have to be experts in it by any means, but just have a general understanding so that we can all kind of help each other there.
Interestingly, talking of jargon and things, Melody has just put on here client avatar. Is that the same as demographic?
No, it's more specific.
Very, very specific. This is something we're super passionate about. And really the beginning of our program is everybody will have a client avatar, meaning one person we will come up with a picture. We will make a vision board for them. They have a name. They have a spouse or a partner. Or they're single. They're divorced. I mean, we come up with every little detail to figure out that one person, your dream client, that's the bullseye. And then from there, if we're marketing and writing our copy to that person, we will just by default attract people outside of the bullseye. But that's, demographics saying like, I want to help women 50 to 60 is way too broad for messaging,
So how do you get to that avatar then?
We actually do a road mapping session, which helps us to identify who your ideal client avatar is. And in our Let's Launch program, we do it as a group, and we spend it's like a 6 to 8 hour day going through all of the exercises that we do to get you very clear on that one person that you're going to make the biggest impact with. And this is a fictitious person. This isn't somebody that exists in real life, but you create this fictional character, and you're so clear on who they are and what their needs are and what their pain points are that you understand when you're writing your copy, when you're creating your offer, when you're creating your program, you know what they need, and you can create that for them so that when you're speaking on these lives and creating your ads, you're speaking to one person. It's so much easier to talk to one person than it is to try to speak to a group of people.
So would that, I mean, we're off on a little tangent here, but I'm enjoying it. So thank you, Melody. For me, I used to teach photography. This is where I started out before I then switched across to video. So for me, I had one customer who was based in Australia, and whenever I put a post up, he was the first one on it. If I recommended a bit of kit, he went out and bought it. So I kind of, and this comes into my video training, is that I'm saying when you're looking in that camera, picture that one person and talk to them.
Yep.
So for me, it's Darren, who's, just turned 50s from Australia. He's a successful businessman. He enjoyed his photography as a hobby on the side. And that was where his, so I was talking to him. So he would be my avatar. Yeah, that's
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's very important. Where's their attention? I mean, where's Darren's attention? Is he on YouTube? Is he on Facebook? Because maybe Darren hates Facebook, and you're spending all this money on Facebook ads, but Darren ain't on Facebook. So you're just spinning wheels. And so it's like, where our ideal customer, where are they? Where do they spend their time? Are they in Facebook groups? Are they on Instagram stories? So it's so important so that you don't waste your time and money and energy marketing to nobody or the wrong people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's brilliant. That makes so much sense.
And it's hilarious because every time we talk to a new client or somebody comes to us and says we want to work with you, and we let them know, like, okay, this is where we start. We start out with identifying your ideal client avatar. Nobody wants to do that. They say, I already know who that person is. And we put our foot down and we said, no, we have to. If you want to work with us, you have to go through this process with us. And every single time, our ideal client avatar changes to what it is currently for them. And that changes everything, right?
So it changes your offer.
It changes your offer. It changes how the program shows up. It changes your, the language and the messaging. And our clients that have worked with us, you can go and talk to them and they'll say, yes, that was really important, but they didn't want to do that work. And so that's why we make it the first thing in our program that we make everybody do. We force you to do it because we know that you need it. But we also know that you don't want to do that work. So we don't really, say, after you go through this, you'll have an ideal client avatar because people think they already have it, right? So you have to give your people what they think they want. And then when they sign up and then you're like, okay, great. Now we're going to give you what you actually need to succeed.
I had a conversation. I'm trying to think. I think Jeru I was talking to the other day, actually, who again we know from BBD, is a customer of mine. But we were chatting the other day, and he was saying to me about he was assuming that I was speaking to people that have already done video, but they want to then up level to a higher quality. And I said, that's exactly where I would have said my avatar was. But when I look at my actual customers, probably 80% of them haven't actually created anything yet, or that so they're coming to me right at the start and saying, before I get started, like Laurie, for instance, before I've actually created a course, I'm wanting to get the video bit sorted. So I found that interesting, and I thought, do I now switch and go, all right, maybe I need to be talking to, are you just starting out, rather than are you ready to up-level your videos? So
right.
maybe I need to come through this and...
Yeah. Have you heard of Stu McLaren's Tribe? In that program, he has something he calls a success path, where people are either, at this point or they're at this point. Even James Wedmore did it with his digital CEO, right? He named every stage of the process, and you wanted to get to the end result. And so you identify with where you're at along that process. Each one of those people on that, what do they call it? Success path. Each one of those people that you name along that success path is a different avatar, because they're in a different spot in their business. Okay. Your product will be very good for one particular person, and maybe, okay or good for people above and below that level. So if your ideal client avatar is somebody who's already done video work, knows their way around the camera and lighting and that kind of thing, and then you want them to level it up, you're going to speak a certain way on your advertising and marketing and in your social media. If your avatar is and your program's great for beginners, then that's who you're speaking to. It doesn't mean that you're not going to attract those other people. You still will attract them because they're interested in it. But who is it that you're going to have the biggest impact for, right? So if you want to work with the beginners, and that's who you believe you'll have the biggest impact with, and you like working with them, and you're pricing your product at that level for them, then that's what you focus on. If you wanted to go for the higher end, less people, more focused, that's, higher dollar value, higher dollar amount. And
which is
so
where I believe it is positioned. But interestingly, people are still coming in and seem to be wanting to get it sorted early on. So, that's what you were saying. Where you're positioning it, you're still going to attract others. But excellent. Well, I enjoyed that. What I was going to ask you started saying about Serena, you mentioned about Darren being on a platform and not on another one, for instance. I know you guys are heavily on Instagram, and I struggle with it. I'm interested to hear from you, and I'll explain why I'm struggling in a minute. But I'm interested to hear, again, you're in a launch. What kind of, is Instagram just what you naturally enjoy, or is this a strategic thing because it's where your avatar is?
Yes and yes.
Right.
So yes, it is something that we enjoy. And yes, it is something that our ideal client avatar spends their time and attention on, is on that.
I guess you
platform.
are your avatar, actually, aren't you, in that sense?
In a way, our specific avatar going into this launch is the business owner that has an established business. They've had clients. They've had possibly fulfillment clients, or people that have gone through their course or membership. And maybe they've launched again, but they know that there's something missing in their launch like in the system that they have. They're recreating the wheel every time they do it. They're doing a challenge, then they're doing a video series, then they're doing a webinar, and they're just not sticking to one thing that works, and they can create a reusable launch system. So that's the whole point of our program, is that you create a reusable launch system that will work, and you can just turn on the switch every, so many months that you want to launch again. And we force you to do a 90-day program because there's so much work that goes into setting everything up. Yeah. And a lot of times when somebody's like, I'm going to launch, they set it out for maybe a month out, and then they start working towards it. They relax a little bit, and then all of a sudden it's 2 weeks and their cart's going to open and they're freaking out and they're just throwing stuff together. So we take you through step by step, making sure that each week you have the homework set in place to get the task done, to be able to have a light and easy and fun launch.
Fantastic. Now that makes total sense. Having been there and been in the stress of, what do I do? And am I doing it right? And should I be over here? And no, I think it's...
And back to Instagram, Adrian. I mean, if you don't think Darren's on Instagram, then I wouldn't worry about it.
Don't worry about it, yeah.
If he's on Facebook, then stick with that.
Yeah. Wherever...
Well, I'm still trying to nail the he was in my he was my photographer avatar when I was doing a beginner's guide to photography, but that's kind of sitting by the wayside at the minute. I'm still figuring out the whole one with my video, because it seems to change in my mind with every client coming through. But
and that's what you'll find too, is that you'll start out with an idea of who you think is your ideal client avatar. You'll start doing the work towards that, and then you'll realize, shoot, this was somebody that I used to want to work with, not who I want to work with now. Like, things have changed in my life. I've leveled up.
Yeah.
I am now at a higher experience level, or I'm at a different place in my life, that those are not the people that I truly want to serve, but I want to serve these people over here,
Yeah.
So
okay.
it's something that's good to revisit, every year, a few times a year before you launch. Who is it that you want to work with, and create that ideal client avatar?
Yeah.
And I see in here,
I'm just about to pull up.
Yeah. It says,
Michael, I think, has just jumped in later and is asking, please explain avatar. I think, Michael, we've gone right through this. Michael, if you jump back, Laurie's put on there, avatar is an imaginary client.
Correct.
Frank's put a target client. I think that sums it up well, doesn't it? But if you're jumping into this live later on, please go back to the replay, because we've just spent ages talking about an avatar. And you're realizing how important that is, actually. So this has been really good. I'll make sure I highlight this in the notes afterwards to say.
We just went over this ourselves. We had our beta launch.
Yeah,
right. We had an avatar for that.
So then now we've revisited and we've changed our avatar based on our beta launchers and their feedback, and like who we realized we helped the most. That's who we then crafted, like, oh, these are the people that we can really help the most, that we love and enjoy working with. So, because it has to be both. It can't just be like, I know I can help that person, but it's like, maybe photography, you want to get out of that, Adrian, and you're like, I know I can help them, but that's not where my heart is. It's not what I want to do. And it's like, don't waste your time there. You have to be passionate about it, and it has to be someone you can serve and enjoy serving.
Right. This is somebody who... Go ahead.
For me, I think with the way I've moved on to, I came into Business by Design, the program that we're both all in, with a plan to teach photography. But I had so many people saying, how do you do your videos, that I transitioned and went, do you know what? I'd really like to help these people do video. And I think it feels more significant to me, because if I'm helping somebody with their photography, it's a hobby. If I'm helping them with this, I'm potentially helping them to get rid of those roadblocks with video and really start turning up looking, like authorities. So that's why I kind of shifted, really, and I'm enjoying the video side of it right now. I think for me, the challenge, I've been creating a lot of YouTube videos, and that's been my... a couple of months ago, I made a decision to really push out on YouTube, because I look at YouTube and I've got videos on there that are 5 years old, and people still come back and go, brilliant, this is exactly what I wanted. My thing with Instagram and social media in general is it's got such a short life, hasn't it?
Yes.
And I know it's powerful and it's there in your feed, but something about me goes, I'm more about, and this is me needing to shift maybe, for me, I struggle to grab my phone and do something quick. I want it to look right and do it. So I'm like, I kind of think, if I'm putting this effort in, I want it to last. I want to do it. So there's something in me that says Instagram's too short-lived to spend my time on.
I agree with that too. Like Pinterest and YouTube are like the databases where
they're search engines.
Your search engines. You post something 10 years ago, people are still viewing it and getting value out of it. And I feel that way for Instagram. I get frustrated when I spend all this time on the perfect photo and I filter it and I write the perfect caption and I get like 10 likes and then no one will ever see it again. So it is, I'm with you, it's a long game. Instagram, it's like you got to just put the time in.
I know, you use it all the time anyway, and it's family and it's everything, isn't it? I constantly see videos and little snippets, so I guess it just becomes totally natural. But for me, I'm like, I should do an Instagram video, or it doesn't sit naturally with me. So, but I do know that my avatar is using Instagram, and I probably should be on there. But
and think of your Instagram more as branding. That kind of takes some of the pressure off to be perfect, because I know with video, like you want it. All of our video friends are like, they want to edit it and it has to be awesome in every way.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. But on Instagram, people want the messy. They want the everyday. They want the branding. You just talk like yourself, and that's what people are going to be drawn to. So I wouldn't worry. Don't fixate on having perfect pictures and video on Instagram, because nowadays people just want that authentic connection and to see you're a real person. People aren't really as impressed with on Instagram as, they are impressed with good, beautiful feeds, but they just want you.
Yeah. So do you think Instagram is working the best for you at the minute? Is that's where I see you. Do you do YouTube and?
No, we're really focused on Instagram and Facebook right now. We believe that our avatar is on Facebook because she is in all these groups, right? She's joined Tribe, she's joined Business by Design, she is in these groups. She joins these free Facebook groups to try to get, the feedback from people in the community, but she's getting lost in the sauce, right? There's too many people. She asks a question. Unexperienced people are answering it for her. Nobody really understands her situation. And so that's why we've created this smaller, close-knit community that everybody that's in it is vested in you just as much as they are in their own business to launch. They go through this client avatar exercise with you so they know who you're going after. So when you're writing the copy and making your post, they're like, wait a second, Sarah, why are you making a post talking to this person? Your ideal client avatar that you created is over here. And it's like, oh, wow, thank you so much. And so instead of them asking a question in a group of 2,000 people, and they're like, oh, yeah, that looks great, and then she goes and runs with it and has a failed launch, it's because we're here. We all understand what's going on with her and who she is and why she's doing that. Or we can say, you're not really putting yourself out there like you should. Or, stop being meek, be polarizing, say something bold to get people to get upset and think about it. So, that's why we believe in the tight-knit small community of doing these 90-day programs and not accepting everyone. That's why we're doing an application as well.
Okay. Again, talking to Giroux the other day, he's doing exactly the same thing, in that he's not going after a big audience, but he wants to go deep with a smaller audience. With very much a promise at the end of the year, you will have hit this target type thing. And he's saying exactly the same thing, that I think people are getting lost in these big groups. And actually, interestingly, just this morning, I've jumped in and answered a question in one of these groups, after a whole load of other people have put comments on about what type of lights and mics and things like this. And I thought, what do I do? Do I jump in? This poor person on the other end of this must just be going, I've got 10 different opinions here. What do I do? And I literally just kind of went, I don't want to confuse you. This is what I would do. If you want to reach out to me, by all means, send me a private message. And she did. And we've just got on a call about an hour before this, and she's just signed up to come and join the Pro Video Academy to get some one-to-one stuff. And I'm like, this is awesome.
People want that community. They want the attention.
Yeah.
And we all the time, we get in our heads and we think, well, so many other people are doing this, or this person has a huge group of, thousands of people, and I only have a group of 30 people. I only have a list of 100 people. That's great, because you can make such a bigger impact on them. You can give them the attention that you can provide at the level that you're at. So even if you think you're starting out and you don't have a big group or a big list, that's great, because they're not going to get the same attention with somebody else that they can get with you right now. You're going to grow, and you're going to get bigger, and you're going to get more expensive, and you won't be available for people that are at that level at that time. As you level up, as you grow, and even when you're at the beginning stages, there's always going to be ideal clients for you at that level. So no matter where you are and where you price yourself or where you put yourself out there, there's always going to be people. There's such an abundance of people on this earth that need your help. So get yourself out there. Even if you think you're starting small, it's such a huge thing, because you get this intimate connection at this level that people are seeking. We are on this internet age where information is just everywhere. You want to learn how to set up lights to look great, as good as Adrian looks right now on camera? You could look up free stuff on YouTube. But the thing is, if you
and
contact
there's 10
Adrian
different
directly,
options.
yeah, you contact Adrian, you talk with him directly, he's going to walk you through it step by step, and he's going to give you that feedback that you need to know that you're doing it properly, that you're doing it right. And that's what people want. It's like the information's out there, but the community is what people are paying for.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think what's certainly for me, and I'm sure for yourself in that sense, the beauty I've got, like this call I just got on, I can literally say to this girl, the kit I've got in front of me is what I recommend. There is no reason why you won't look exactly the same as this through it. And I think people want that kind of experience. I know you've done a whole load of launches with people just to be able to go, all right. And sometimes you just got to cut out the noise, haven't you? And go, I want to follow one guide. It might not be, there isn't necessarily a right way to do it, is there? But it's just going, instead of the confusion and, I'll pick and choose of 5 different coaches. I mean, I've done this in the past where I've shut down email lists and podcasts and things because actually you just get overloaded sometimes, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's just so much information.
You're not offering Anna the course then. You're really just coming in alongside and saying, this is what's working with our customers. And
Yeah, it's essentially like, hey, look, you know what to do. You just haven't been doing it. Let's do it. Let's do it together. You don't have to do this alone. I hear so many times people like, oh, I don't like launches. I want to go evergreen because launching is so stressful. It doesn't have to be stressful. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot of great interaction when you have a group of people that you're doing it with at the same time.
Oh, yeah. It'll be fun. Yeah. It has to be. We make it fun.
Yeah, and if you're not having fun, we're gonna make sure.
It's a party.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
and
awesome.
I love that you're doing it. You're doing it as a couple as well. It's.
Yeah.
I think more and more people you start to realise are working with their. I mean, my wife works with me, and it's a great way to work, isn't it?
It is, and we have different strengths, and I'm more of like the intuitive person. I really can read people well, and I'm more of like the cheerleader, encourager, and I kind of see between, like, he's real technical, and then I can kind of help explain things on everyone else's terms. So, I know how his brain works. I know what he's trying to say, and then I can re-communicate it. So it's been
So you
fun.
can see the people when they're sitting going, huh?
Yeah.
And Andy's going off on one.
Yeah, I'm like, right, you got it, let's go. And she's like, whoa, wait a second.
Like, let's make sure everybody has this before we move on.
Something's not right. Let's revisit this. So,
brilliant.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Before I jump on a minute, I'm conscious. I'd love to ask guys if you've got any questions on this so far. Please, in the comments, chip in. Let us know if you're planning on doing a launch, if it's making you think about stuff that you've been doing. Throw in some questions, and while we keep talking, we'll just keep dropping these in, and we'll enjoy talking with these guys. But
awesome.
No, I think it's There's definitely something on this. The amount of people you hear that have got so many different courses but actually aren't achieving it, you realise, there's that breakdown, isn't there? It's that personal bit, it's the accountability. And I've literally just sat this morning this is the first day really I've been back out in the office, and I just said to Rachel, my wife, I need to just get rid of a lot of this clutter. There's too much kind of pulling me and making me think, I need to be doing this, I should be doing that, why haven't I done that? And really trying to just get clear on going, what is it I'm trying to do for my launch? And is this helping or isn't it? And, just trying to get that mess out. And I could definitely see the value of a group of like-minded people being coached along like this. I'll be.
Yeah, it's so true, Adrian, because everybody has the knowledge. I mean, we have all the information we need at our fingertips. So it's not that we don't know enough. That's not why we're not launching or succeeding. We all are holding ourselves back at the end of the day. We all know it's fear and limiting beliefs, and it's just ourselves not putting ourselves out there. So I think that's what we're so passionate about is, like, you have all the knowledge. We're here to give you that confidence because we're kind of holding your hand through it and guiding you through so that you feel you're not second guessing. Like, should I send this email? Should I do a Facebook ad? Are my ads doing well? What do these numbers mean? Are they converting? Mm-hmm. Should I bother? Should I do something different? So having us and the other people in the group for that assurance, or telling them maybe try something else,
right,
gives them that confidence that They can go through the launch, and we're all in their launches with them. Like, we join their Facebook groups, and we're cheering them on.
Joining their lives, commenting, and commenting on their social media posts and sharing it out, and collaborating.
Like, our launchers have collaborated with our other launchers and said, "I'll offer a bonus for your course, and you offer a bonus for my course." Yes. So
and they've joined each other's programs too.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Cool.
Yeah, not asking for freebies for. Can I get in for free and I'll do this? And I love that. If someone sees the value in it and comes in, I'm starting to see that myself. The whole I'm realizing that what I'm offering with the video actually fits very nicely on the back of somebody else's training when they're already going through and teaching people how to get going. Absolutely, that fits for me. I'm interested as well, because I know you're saying there about helping people out, and for me, it's not been necessarily about the start and the bits to put in place first, but it's actually when you do a launch and it doesn't go well. I guess that's when Serena comes in very much. It's kind of because I was there last year at one point and just thought, what am I doing? It didn't go as I expected, and just to have someone there, not in a big group of 50 people chipping in and giving their opinion, but to have someone just go, let's have a look at this. What could you have done? What worked well? And I'm guessing there's real value at that stage.
Yeah, we do a debrief with every launcher at the end, just kind of say like what worked, what didn't. And what's really important is, you could, some people have awesome goals and then they may not reach them. But at the end of the day, when we have them sit down and say, what did you accomplish? And they actually sit down and write out, wow, I did my first webinar. I did
Facebook ads.
I learned how to do Facebook ads. I did an Instagram TV. I got on 3 podcasts. Like, when they start to see, I was able to offer a bonus for 3 other people in the group. So when they start to write down, and it's like, wow, look what you did in 90 days. Maybe you didn't get this huge number that you were hoping for, but now you have this system that you can just keep doing. Because that's the most successful people. I remember James said with Business by Design, I think his first time launching, he sold to 12 people. So
he made $12,000.
Or he made $12,000.
First Business by Design.
First launch.
Right. $1,000
really?
So he said that at BBD Live. Right. So did he give up and be like, I'm going to do a different program? No. He kept refining and making that launch system better, and now it's insane.
Yeah. What did he do the last launch?
I don't know if he discloses that, but he did very well. He did very well the last launch, much better than 12,000, obviously. So that's what we're trying to help people see is it's the long game. Like, you just need to create this system and then keep refining it and changing your ads and changing your copy and working on it over time. Not, this didn't go how I wanted. I'm going to scrap and do dog training now, or, I'm going to do a totally different thing.
Alicia Kane's just posted there and just put systems with a big hands up. Yeah.
Hi, Alicia. She's a systems girl, our systems girl. She's awesome.
Really? Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. No, I think that's been, fantastic. And it's, hang on. Oh, I've got a big post here. Let's post this in over the front. Michael. He's launching water processors for the Scandinavian European market. Target would be athletes and people with the standard diseases, as well as individual well-being. My thoughts are to inform the market through YouTube with facts around the fairly new technology. Just search Kangen Water on YouTube. So we'll have a look at him over there. So Michael, similar to me then, is going through a lot of YouTube, getting in front of his audience with YouTube videos. I'm absolutely finding that's been, when I've checked through my customers and I've actually surveyed them, or just on a coaching call gone, actually, where did you guys find me? Most of them found me on YouTube, or a lot of them did. And sometimes it was doing a Kajabi video or some, how to set up your website on Kajabi, and my videos rank really well on that.
Awesome.
Or a lot have come through kit reviews. When I'm talking about this particular camera, and people have come in because they knew they needed, or they'd been advised about this camera, and then they've come in. And so I've definitely found that's been a powerful way to get in front of people. And just, it's like your launch, isn't it? We're building confidence with people, and letting them get to know us, and see that we've got some credibility before, rather than just launching straight into cold sale. But I'm interested. I like that 3-day challenge. I shall sign up for that myself. That's interesting to hear that 5's slowing people down.
Well, and maybe not for every challenge, because a lot of people do the 5-day challenge and have amazing success.
Or 30-day challenge or 90-day challenge. It really depends on what's the transformation that you're trying to create.
Yeah.
Are you trying to create a habit for people? Then it's going to be a 90-day or 180-day challenge, essentially. Is it a paid? Is it a free? What's the point of your challenge? Is it to get people to learn about you and build that relationship enough that they're going to now invest money in working with you?
Yeah.
So
it's got to be a quick win, hasn't there, at least?
Yeah. So for us, what we wanted to do is we wanted to create something that was going to be short and to the point, something that you can start out the beginning of the year with some clarity, and that all of our business buds can go through, even if they're not ready for Let's Launch or they don't need Let's Launch. We still want to give something to our business buds that is something that's going to be valuable for them, that we think that it would be good for, to start the year off with. So, we're going to be inviting all of our, friends that we know through different programs and online people, and say, hey, just come join the group, introduce yourself, and we'll go through and we'll do this work together. And hopefully you can get something out of it, and you can invite your network and your friends and your clients into it. And then we're going to give them a 20% referral for anybody that they get to sign up for Let's Launch. So it's like, hey, we're all about sharing the pie, right?
Yeah.
And so instead of having to do an affiliate where you have to create a whole course or give them something, it's just like, hey, you brought them into the group, they sign up because they want to do it, they need it. We wouldn't have been able to talk to them without your help of bringing them in. So that's another one of our strategies there.
Excellent, which is exactly what I'm doing. So looking at the same kind of thing on that. Brilliant.
Awesome.
Any kind of, before we wrap up, any little tips or anything for people? What I was going to ask actually before you answer that one is, if we bring this over into the group, at the minute we're out on my page because I wanted for you and others to be able to share this out as well. But if over into our Pro Video Made Easy group, if you guys are in there anyway, I think, aren't you? So if we carried on this conversation, if people are asking anything, we can keep this going, can't we? And just come back to people and
tag us in the comment.
Yep.
That way we can see it.
Yeah, so we see the question. Ask the question, tag us, and we're more than happy. We geek out over this stuff. We love talking about it. Yeah.
And you can tell, it's, I think this is it. It's people can see genuine people, And I know you've been around for a long time. Well, let's say you've been around for a long time. I've seen you or I've heard people saying to me, oh, Andy's a great guy. He's really helped me out with this. And, you've very much sowed a seed and just being out there and just loving on people. You don't get, I know full well you're not just in this for a quick win, like, hey, we can make some money by helping people launch. This is your passion. This is what you do. And that very much comes through. And I wish you all the best with it.
Well, thank you, Adrian.
Thanks, Adrian. Same with you.
Any little quick wins or tips for people that are launching, other than obviously coming over, and we'll get that link in a second. Any tips? What you think is a big thing, a new thing for this year, maybe make sure you're doing?
A new thing for this year?
That's a good question.
Well, 2019.
Yeah, 2019.
I don't know if it's a new thing, but playing the long game is something that keeps coming up with us, with people that we see that have been really successful over the past year into this year. Is not quitting, not changing direction all the time into different things, like, oh, now I'm going to sell this, or maybe I should sell this, and letting the audience dictate what you do, but getting really clear on who you want to work with, who you want to serve, and then investing in them for like a year, right? So people are coming into your funnel. They might be joining your free Facebook group or following you online, and just engaging with them over the course of a year, they'll be ready to buy because they've been learning from you and getting to know who you are, and then they get really comfortable with knowing, who you are and understanding who you are.
And going along with that, I think in 2019, very important is, going along with all that actually, is what Brandon Lucero is doing with the new generation. New generation is becoming a thought leader. And not so much just spewing free content. I mean, it kind of is free content, but being that polarizing thought leader where you're warming up your audience with these polarizing ideas and beliefs, and then they're attaching to you because of it. They're like, "Ooh, I like what they're saying."
Yes.
So I think that's going to be huge in 2019 because I think there is, like you said, Adrian, there's so much noise. There's so many distractions. There's so many groups. There's so many ways to launch. You have to be different, and people have to be attracted to you. You can't try to be like everyone else. You have to be yourself, and you'll just attract. So I think authentic relationships, people are wanting more and more, and 2019 I think is going to be the year of like no more shallowness, like people being real, people being authentic, being a thought leader, being polarizing, warming up your audience by going live with that, doing Facebook ads before you pitch them something. People aren't just pitching stuff these days. They're really the long game of warming them up over time.
And don't beat yourself up if you go to launch and you don't get the results that you wanted. Like, be proud that you launched, that you put yourself out there. We know, Adrian, we know people personally that have been in these programs for years, like the past 2 years, and it's like they're still in the same spot where they haven't put themselves out there for hire or haven't put their program or course or membership out there, and they just keep creating new content just to keep themselves busy, but they're not. We know them. We've seen them when they show up at these events year after year, and it's like, hey, when are you gonna do your thing? And they just let other things get in the way. So it's be proud of yourself for taking action. You're not a failure. Don't attach to the results, right? The results are not who you are.
Fantastic. Great advice. Okay, so Melody's just suggesting on here that we bullet point this afterwards if you're looking at her. So awesome. Thank you, Melody. Yeah, good tip.
Thank you.
So we've heard about this then. I think fantastic advice what you're suggesting here. So how can people get involved in this then? Where do we sign up to this free 3-day challenge?
The workshop? Then? Yeah, we'll have links to it. It's going to be a Facebook group, probably Kajabi type thing. So I'll set something up soon.
Could you comment in here then?
Yeah, I will. We'll have it on our in our profile link tree. So on our social media sites, Instagram and Facebook, we have a link tree. We'll put a button up there once it's up and ready to go. We'll shoot a comment in here.
Fantastic. Yeah, just drop a comment in this then, and then anybody can pick that up and come and find you. And they'll be able to see you, of course. I've tagged you in here anyway, so if they just go through, social media is very easy these days, isn't it? And like you say, Linktree, fantastic over there. You can list all these things out. So, well, I've really enjoyed that. I've got a lot out of it anyway. Thank you so much. Awesome. I wish you every success with this launch. Come back and tell us. I did think right at the start, actually, I wonder if maybe there's an opportunity we can do this again once you're a month or so, when you've done your launch and that. There's a lot of interest around the whole avatar thing, and I wonder if maybe you could come on and just do a bit of a session, a few tips, or I don't know if you've got anything that you've put together as a lead magnet, or it's thought for it anyway, because there's obviously a lot of interest in what an avatar is and how to find that.
Yeah, so, I love it. That's definitely
we'll keep in touch. Excellent. Well, thank you ever so much. Have a fantastic new year.
Thank you all for being on, and if you're watching the replay, thank you for watching. Thank you, Adrian, for having us. It's been so much fun. It's been a pleasure.
Good. Yeah, thank you. I hope the kids haven't trashed the house while you've been.
Luckily they have Christmas gifts to play with, so that's good.
Brilliant. No, thanks everyone. As Serena's just said, thanks everyone for being on. Appreciate your time. Have a wonderful Christmas, and please, if you found this valuable, share it out. Let anybody else, just comment somebody else's name below. Let them know about it as well. If they think this could be relevant to them, then I can't recommend these guys enough. And go for it. Let's have a great 2019. Thanks ever so much, everybody.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year, everybody.
We'll leave it there. Thank you.